Hey, nice to see you again. Welcome back to the Tree for the Taking YouTube channel. I'm Sam, and in this video, you'll see the full front-to-back build of the third Sprig, my 5th ever guitar, and the first one I've ever sold. I've got tickets to see it on stage tonight, and I'm over the moon and incredibly proud to tell you all about it and show you how I made it in this video. By the way, all the background music was recorded on Sprigs. The body, material, and construction methods are very similar to Sprig 2, except for the fact that I've evolved my body molds to cast the Tree of Heaven composite into a back and frame so that I can inset my aluminum braces into the frame before I glue the back on, which makes for an incredibly resonant, even body. The necks are still reclaimed quarter-sawn mahogany, but I've moved on to spoke wheel truss rods, which are much easier to adjust. I was recently seeking someone to start CNC manufacturing my aluminum parts, as well as potentially radiusing and slotting Richlight fingerboard blanks, but that didn't work out, so I'm trying to either look into other options or join a makerspace around me to start learning how to automate some of these tasks, because as you can see, hand chiseling the truss rod slot is a lot of fun, but I'd like to make a lot of these. I've still got about 20 or so blanks worth of reclaimed quarter-sawn mahogany that I got from Katumet Sawmill not but a year ago, and as I solidify this Sprig headstock design around a 6 inline, which is my preference as well as it was my buyer's preference with vintage split post locking tuners, as you can see there. The logo is a little larger, but fundamentally this is an evolution of the first Sprig's headstock. Per my client's preference, we went with a 12-inch radius for the fretboard, which is ebony colored Richlight, and it's very copacetic with the bridge and nut that I'm using. It's much easier to get a thorough and even cure in 2 pieces rather than one monolithic body. As you can see on camera here, I also cast directly into the back panel an access hole for an electronics plate. This new drum sander massively changes my workflow, allows me to resurface things, get them flat way quicker, and this combo sander also changed my game thanks to my uncle and the estate sales. These aluminum braces that I'm using are smaller than the ones I used on the second Sprig, and here you can see me rounding over these tabs, which are going to be flush inset into the frame. Here you can see me JB welding these braces in, and in preparation for closing the box, so to speak, although it's not really an applicable term here. The back is getting engraved with Sprig number 3 and my buyer's name, which is coincidentally my own. It's a thrill and a privilege to work with someone whose tastes you're very aligned with, whose influences you share, and whose original music you just love. So I couldn't be happier. I've got the perfect first customer, and I just cannot overstate my gratitude for getting to work with who I'm able to right now. Sam Eastman has got to be the best guitarist that I personally know, and I'm so lucky that he just so happens to work at my local music around, where I had brought in Sprig 1 looking for some pickups. I was showing another customer who was shopping there, and Sam was really into it, especially that it had one pickup, how it was built, the sustainability mission, and he took a leap of faith in becoming my first ever client, being willing to take home a prototype Sprig with some slight personalizations to make it his own, and we got to a place that is just wonderful for Sprig 3. As you can see, my bolt-through sandwich neck construction remains unchanged, but I have invested in a fractal fret pressing caul, which is pretty good. I still had to hammer, as you can see in the back, but it looks really cool. I've been asked about making a fretless sprig, which I would imagine would be a little easier than making a normal sprig, because I skip all of these steps, so someday. This step of removing the excess edge from the back panel, as well as the surface prep for gluing them together, are the two additional steps that I have to deal with using a two-part mold. But I think that there are a lot of advantages, and someday I may revisit one-piece body molds, but for the time being, I'm planning to make more frames and panels. You'll also see me here routing out a neck pocket, which, though subtractive and not additive, allows for a much simpler mold design, and I was routing out neck platforms anyways to get the height dead on accurate, so I was doing it regardless. As I prepare to get this thing bolted together, you'll see me begin work on the top, and herein lies one of the significant differences from past sprigs and a implementation of some of the ideas that I had with Sam. Both Sam and I really like offset guitars and tailpieces. Those sorts of vibratos with a lot of distance have opportunities for overtones which are really quite nice. And so this is a ultra thick string through tailpiece made out of machined aluminum. As you see me using a little compound table to actually drill these holes. And the tailpiece sits as far away from the bridge as I was able to place it, and you access it via a little window at the edge of the top that you can see this tailpiece through. If you know anything about guitar culture, or anything about genre formation, music history, if you care about guitar, electric guitar as an instrument, and what innovation looks like in this space, then you will know that this is a life-changing opportunity, and I could not be more proud. In order to compensate for the lower bridge height with the smaller square aluminum tube braces, this Bigsby Sorkin bow tie bridge is getting a 1/4 inch thick aluminum riser, which adds some nice mass. So tuners are basically the last thing that need to be installed in order to do a test fitting, test string up, to make sure that everything works and fits together well. After I installed the tuners, in this case, I was in a little bit of a rush to get things done because at first I was under the impression that it had to be done by the end of June, and then that was moved to the end of July, and I sort of allowed it to take the amount of space that it had, and wound up taking my sweet time with just about every step. And so this truly is the culmination of all of my best work in a strange combination of both rushing and, obviously it took a year, so I did take my time, but I'm a perfectionist. And here's a clip from the test stringing. You'll see whether or not it worked, and it did.
It lives.
So now that I knew that it worked, all that was left was to finish it. And this involved a few back and forths with Sam, getting his opinion on the neck carve, which I couldn't make as thin as I had wanted to for him, because mahogany is just not going to be as stiff as a one-piece maple neck, especially with a Richlite board that thick. Richlite has no long grain fibers, no grain direction at all whatsoever. So in terms of resisting bending force, it's very weak. So it's a pretty thick neck carve overall, but really comfortable. You'll also notice here, this True Oil is one of 20 coats that I put on, which is an insane amount. I also used some grain filler for the first time ever, so the result was a lot more polished than I ever had achieved. Now we're onto the back panel, which was a first for me, but is such a helpful feature to have when you think about the fact that my neck joint requires essentially taking the neck off when you want to remove the top. Because it's all cohesively sandwiched, it's rather cumbersome in that you need a flat surface to lay Sprig out on to get it apart. So by having this magnetic access plate, everything gets so much easier. Here you see me gluing on my neodymium magnets to washer bases, and the thing wound up incredibly effective, solid, very easy to access. I'm sorry, you will notice that I did forget to record hitting this top and having it ring out like a bell to record how that sounded, but I assure you it was loud and rang out for over a minute when you struck it. You'll see me now drilling the holes so I could take it off to my friend Trevor over at the Crap Factory, who helped me wire this thing in no time, did some fret polishing, the guy's a master, and that pushed it over the edge. Listen up. Sam pulled this vintage gold foil out of his favorite Telecaster's neck position, and let me tell you, it's perfect for a single bridge position pickup guitar. It screams, it's clear, it's everything you want. Let's get into a demo and check out the pedals that I have. Quite a few are on in this video. So believe it or not, that was my last day with Sprig. I've had it back a few times to fix things like the strap button location for Sam's preference, adjusting the action because it's a new guitar, but tonight, for the first time ever, I have the incredible honor of getting to see my instrument on stage, with flawed mangoes no less. This is like peak modern guitar. I can't think of a place I'd rather have my instruments. And make sure to check out Sam Eastman's music because he's amazing. Like and subscribe to see what I build next, and have a good day. Thank you for watching.